AOA podcast, Wednesday episode. Frankie C is in the house. Big dog.
What's happening?
You're here. Jimmy Kimmel's not.
Am I taking over for Jimmy Kimmel?
That would be amazing. ABC announcing literally an hour ago that they have removed Jimmy Kimmel from the late night slate indefinitely. We'll tell you everything that's going on. It's over Charlie Kirk comments. We'll play you the clip that got him in trouble. We'll explain the backstory behind all of this and what exactly is happening as the late night landscape has shifted more this year than we've seen since Conan versus Leno. I mean, this has really been the most changes.
That was a prize fight back then.
It really was. So Kimmel comments will definitely dominate our episode for this show. And of course, Kash Patel and the Epstein congressional testimony from yesterday. We do have to cover that. Might have a couple of other little topics to throw in there as well. My friends, this podcast. Frankie C, I'm stunned. Similarly stunned how when I watched Charlie Kirk be assassinated, I thought, I didn't think it would get to this level. I know the vitriol is high. I didn't think somebody would take it to this level. Right. And obviously that's life and death. That's real world stuff. This is just show business, but to a lesser degree, same sort of feeling where it's like, I understand Colbert getting shown the door, and everybody, once that happened, started asking Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, what do you guys think? Are you in trouble? Are you this? Are you that? Are you continuing? Are you that? And I thought, those guys are solid. They'll never go, especially since there's one less person at the party. You know, you got to think about this too from a business and economic standpoint.
We're going to get their audience or whatever. Yeah.
Their audience, their advertisers. You got to think they're probably okay for another 4 or 5 years. And here we are a couple months later, and ABC making the shocking announcement that Jimmy Kimmel has been removed from the late night schedule indefinitely. Choice language there. We'll dive into what that all means.
It means and not definitely.
It's indefinitely.
Yeah, not definitely.
Not definitely. Yeah. And it was over comments that he made Monday night on his show, which is interesting because it's Wednesday. So he did Monday. A whole day Tuesday went by. He did a show Tuesday night. And this happened so late. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Wednesday's show in the can already, but it's not going to be hitting the airwaves.
Yeah, that's not going to be hitting the airwaves till like 11, whatever. But this is just another, I mean, these big companies now are just falling in line with Trump's bullshit of we got to get rid of these guys. It's a blatant attack on left-wing broadcasting. That's what it is. I mean, these big companies. I mean, as soon as Colbert was let go, Trump came out and said, "Oh, you got to get here, Jimmy Kimmel and this guy and that guy. They're next. We got to go after them." And it's like, well, now here we go. And I feel like they were just looking for any tiny excuse to go, well, no, it has nothing to do with what Trump said. It's of course it's what he said on the air.
Is there some truth to what Frankie C is saying, or is this just more crazy talk from another left-wing nut job?
Ouch.
We'll see. Stay with us. We'll see. Let's start from the beginning, Frankie C. Let's show the people what exactly.
From the end. Starting at the beginning.
Let's start from 40% into the story.
Yeah, we'll go back and recap when we go.
Let's see if there's some credence to what Frankie C said, though. Let's let everybody judge for themselves. Let's start with Jimmy Kimmel and what he said. By the way, we are going viral right now as we speak for something I said last episode with Candace Owens. Listen to this. Something I said revolving around Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and Israel. None of that is good. None of that is good.
Oh God, what'd you say?
But I stand by it all, and we'll end of the episode. I
gotta wait however long this goes.
Remind me, everybody, to address that because it's shocking. Anyway, keep it on Kimmel. is what got Jimmy Kimmel removed from the late night schedule indefinitely.
At least it's somebody we can trust, though, right? We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction.
So that's it. That's what's landed Jimmy Kimmel in some hot water.
Making fun of the president.
Which I'll tell you what the surprising thing is for me. Okay, so an hour ago, I see it come over the wire. Jimmy Kimmel canceled indefinitely. I shouldn't say canceled. Removed from the schedule indefinitely. It's important that we keep that language. What?
What wire?
Well, the news. Well, you're right. It was on Twitter. Okay. Good call by you. Call me out for that bullshit.
Yeah. This just in, as I hold my ear and try to look important.
It came up, Frank. It printed out from a 1950s wire service. I ripped it off the paper.
It was a text we got from one of our friends. That's the wire.
When I saw that, I said to myself, okay, what did he say? When I watched the clip that we just shared with you, I thought, out of everything that got people fired over these Charlie Kirk comments, and because everybody from nurses, teachers, MSNBC people, football people, a lot of people have been getting fired. Everything those people said were far worse than that.
Yeah. I saw on, someone said on Facebook, what's his name? The Fox guy goes on the air and says to euthanize homeless people involuntarily. And all he did was apologize, and that was fine. You heard about that?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it was Brian Kilmeade.
Okay.
He's sitting there. I think it was in the morning or whatever. It's him, two other people, and they're talking about the homeless situation. And he comes up with, or we could just lethal inject them, give them lethal injections involuntarily. And he suggested and he was like, didn't seem like he was joking. And then he came on the air and apologized. But
weird.
Killing homeless people, that doesn't get you fired. But saying something mean about the president.
Well, you could kill. Remember our friend who remember that one weekend and that thing that happened with the homeless person that we don't talk about. So it's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
Point is this: that seemed, although it was Charlie Kirk adjacent. I'm not defending him, by the way, but let me get all my points out. Although it was Charlie Kirk adjacent, it feels like more of a criticism of the president, his administration, and the right.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was expecting
Charlie Kirk at all.
Right, I was expecting some sort of dig at Charlie Kirk himself, and whatever. In fact, when I think about it, I think we even commented on. I don't know if I did it on Monday when you weren't here, or if we did it on Friday when we were together. This exact statement of he pivoted. The president pivoted when asked about Charlie Kirk, because I remember saying that's just
suspended.
I wish. Yeah. I'm this close to saying something that I don't believe about Charlie Kirk just to end this whole fucking thing. It's like, this might be an easy way out. We can we could say something bad about Charlie Kirk and be done with this. But I remember saying that because that's just who Trump is. Trump is positive. Well, he's positive from a sense of,
positive?
Well, I mean, see, this is why it's hard for me to finish thoughts. He's positive from a sense,
and I'll let you finish it.
He's positive from a sense of he doesn't want to dwell on bad/sad things that
Well-
don't get him any sort of like shitting on a left-wing person. He's not positive. Then he'll dive into that because he's got some gain out of that. But like a friend of his dying, like he doesn't want to. He would much rather talk about something positive and keep focus on. Well done, Bert. I think that's just who he is. And so that's fine.
He's not a shift to positive person. He's a shift to what I want to talk about person. It doesn't matter what it is.
Maybe.
But I
don't think he wants to dwell on real things, is what I'm saying. Like,
well,
hey,
he's
you
the
want to sit
president.
here?
That's all
I
you
know.
deal with.
But I'm saying,
is real
like,
things.
if you were like, hey, you want to sit here and talk about something real in your like, how many friends do we have that don't want to talk about real shit?
100%. You're right. However, when you're the president, you're not friends sitting around watching the game. You're the president. You have to talk about this shit.
No, that's just the way he is. Yeah,
is that? Oh, okay. Then all's good. No, sorry. You're the president. This is how you have to handle. Someone asks you a direct question about a tragedy or whatever it is, and you go, "Yeah, I'm not talking about that."
And see, the difference here is it's his feel. He was asked about his feelings. I don't think he wants to talk about his feelings. That's not the kind of guy he is.
He talks about his feelings all the time. Oh, that's a poor question. You're very insulted. It's a stupid question. You're an idiot. But he's always everything.
I don't think I'm explaining this well. I don't think I'm explaining.
You are. You're explaining it that he doesn't want to talk about his feelings.
He's very surface. Does that help? He's surface. Fine. He doesn't want to.
He can't just say, "Oh, it's we're all pulling together and we're getting through it." I talked to his wife, blah blah blah. He could say 2-3 sentences and it would have been just fine. But no, it's we're doing fine. Look at this ballroom. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't disagree with that critique.
Person.
Again, yeah, because I'm sure his followers would have enjoyed him being like, I talked to his wife, or I'm proud of the vice president for stepping in and taking the lead on this. That he has done. You're right. He could have said that. He could have comforted his own people. But again, I don't think that's not his deal.
Well, you're the president and you don't comfort.
Comfort's not his deal.
Okay.
He's not good at it.
Well, you're not qualified for the job. Sorry.
When he was shot and we were going to get that newer, softer Trump, that didn't even last a full speech. By the end of the speech, he was
a softer Trump. Oh, he did.
He did. And everybody was speculating, and they said he changed his speech. Remember at the convention? And by the end of that speech, he had reverted back to who he was. He's a
narcissist who wants to talk about what he wants to talk about. Yeah. There was I think it was that same little press gathering out there at the White House. There was a reporter from Australia. I forget the name of the news outlet.
Hang on, can I interrupt you? I want you to finish your comment, but I'm just looking at this and see this, Carrie, is the problem. Like Frank's presenting one point and I'm presenting another. Like you can stay. You don't have to just hear what you need to hear. I think that's what's important. Again, and I think I'm honoring Charlie Kirk by saying this. Like that's the whole point.
I'd love to know what was two left. What did I say that was two left?
Well, whatever it was, like stick around. Like, well, hold on. I'm going to trump it here. See, she goes, I'm a big fan of Anthony. You should be. I think I'm very good at this. Thank you. But I float around. This is hilarious. I have to say I'm disappointed in him. This could be a great podcast if it wasn't so political. And then Paul says, Ant is MAGA. But anyway, my point is, Carrie, I appreciate your comments, and you can obviously leave if you want to, but stick around because we're going to have an honest debate and discussion. Like I agree with Frank on a lot of stuff. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff. Like that's the whole point of having fun with everything. I also thought this was funny that Bird said
Carrie.
This.
Stick around, Carrie.
But go, all right, make your point. I do want to get back to Kimmel and all the other stuff that I think is going on with this and around this. But go ahead, finish what you were saying.
If this isn't the epitome of, and I'm sorry, Carrie, but it's the truth.
You should apologize to Carrie. I like that. Big of you.
But he's at this press thing, and he's talking. An Australian reporter asked him a question about his business affairs. Like, you have any comment on the fact that you're making all this money, your businesses and all this stuff, you're making all this money while you're president. Something along those lines. I'm not getting it verbatim. And he goes, well, my sons are handling that, and that's an unfair question, and you should, who are you, where are you from, and your prime minister's coming. I'm going to tell him all about you, and it's not. I think you're hurting your country. It's like the guy just asked a question, and you're attacking him like oh, I'm going to tell mom and dad on you. It's like, what is that? What are you doing? Just answer the question or don't answer the question.
This goes back to what I said about Charlie Kirk from the beginning, and I would throw Trump in this mix. I would throw you in this mix a little bit. I think people are lost right now. I think people are lost in this political battle, and everything starts to get convoluted in life to just being about fighting this war that is left versus right. And I think
it starts with our leaders. They're separated. They're all on their own sides. They're doing, they're battling each other. So the people that follow take sides. That's if they all came together and said, we're fighting together. All this stuff, this fight, bipartisan fighting, it's all over. Or partisan fighting, it's all over. If they did that and they came together and they were making laws that were helping everybody and they were doing whatever they could do, everybody would be like, oh, all right, yeah, okay, I get it. We're working together now. Okay. But no, it's one side kisses Trump's ass. The other side's not like, no, we're not, that's not our job. So in my opinion, that's the way I feel about how like one side is different from the other, because one side's not going to kiss the president's ass, no matter who it is. And the other side is. So that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. Dominus, well, I can't even say this name. I got more on that when we update you on the Candace thing that we're going viral for in a second. I agree with Frank on the point of, I wish our leaders on all sides would step up a bit more and be real leaders. We've had a real lack of leadership. In fact, when we get to the Kash Patel thing, there was a little bit of leadership in that room that day when Kash Patel was testifying from Congress. And that's always, you got to point that out. It's like when my kids do something, like when my kids get up and they clear the table without being told, you have to go like this. I feel like Congress is the same way. We have to be like, hey, real leadership. Like you gotta,
Yeah. And when they do one thing right, they're like, oh, look at that. They could do something.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is the way it should be all the time. And they act like they're supposed to be not a step above, but they should be like the best of us, kind of leading us into a brighter future. But they get down in the mud and they mudsling, and they just the other day or last week, maybe after the Charlie Kirk shooting, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on Twitter calling for a national divorce. That's a leader.
Yeah, I've said this the last couple of days. The people that are talking about civil war, the people that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, and the people that are calling for civil war are people on both sides that need to just stop.
It's like,
just gotta stop.
That's not. I mean, the whole point is to come together and I mean, especially if you're in one of the leaders, you're supposed to lead, not divide us. That's right. The whole point. You're supposed to bring us together and move us forward, not tear us apart.
Did you see the Nancy Mace? Is Nancy her name? Mace? When right after Charlie, and I get it, she was upset, but she was like, the left owns this. And then the reporter right next to the first question out of his mouth is like, well, then who owns the shooting of the Democrat in Minnesota? Then do you got it's a great mirror question of like, let me hold the mirror up to you so you can see how ridiculous this
more
sounds.
Of that, please. So that's the kind of thing. I don't know if it's a fear of them losing their job or getting kicked out of not being able to ask questions anymore. Like I could get this one zinger in and then I'm done. My career's over. Mm-hmm. But we need more questions like that. We need more real time, as politicians say stupid, false things. We need real-time fact-checking and real-time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, here's this, and it's we're not getting enough of that. These comments go out, people say stupid things, and then a day later, it's like, well, here's the fact check. It's like, well, that doesn't matter anymore because it's already the bell has been rung, and whatever the person said in front of the cameras is going to be what everybody hears, and the fact check is going to slide under the radar, and nobody's going to care.
Kudos to Carrie for still being here. Takes a
Hey.
big person to hang around, and now it looks like she's having fun. I like to see that.
That's good.
There's a lot of great comments in here with, I don't even know, everybody's enjoying Bird's comment. We should have a civil cuddle puddle. What is a cuddle?
I get puddle, but puddle?
What is that?
Is that just we all just
Feels like one of those
we all
sexual
cuddle
things that you just don't know about.
I mean,
No,
why,
that
is
reminds-
it, why is it a puddle?
No, that reminds me of that. What's that line in? What's that line in Old School where he's like, remember when he's in the therapy office? He's like, I started thinking about what the waitress is wearing. Like what kind of panty?
Something white or white cotton. I don't remember. You're right.
And then he goes, something I don't even know about. Like I always laugh at that line of like, because that's how I feel about almost
I thought
everything.
this was a safe, wasn't this?
Weren't
It's a
we in
safe
the
space?
trust tree with the nest? But that idea of something I don't even know about, it like fills my mind with everything. I'm like, is this something I don't like? What is this I don't even know about? You know?
Right.
Cool, Carrie, stay around for the cock jokes. It's plenty
Plenty
of
of
cock
those.
jokes. Plenty of those. An abundance, I would say. Okay, back to Jimmy Kimmel. So what is behind the Kimmel removal? I think everybody would agree that out of all the horrific things that were said about Charlie Kirk after his assassination, this is pretty low on the totem pole and is more of a critique of President Trump than a commentary on being happy or pleased with the passing of Charlie Kirk. Fair?
Say it again.
That as far as the bad things that were said post Charlie Kirk assassination, this is what Kimmel said was pretty low on the totem pole and was more of a critique of Donald Trump in general than a commentary about the Charlie Kirk situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It was
Fair.
a huge critique of totally.
Yeah. So that being said, why is he being removed from the late night schedule indefinitely, as ABC describes? Because there's a couple of things at work here. And one is that one of the companies that owns a lot of ABC affiliates, because how it works is ABC is the network. They put their show out on the network. Affiliates, other independently owned TV stations just air the show, right?
Mhm.
Nexstar Media is one of the groups that owns a huge chunk of stations. It's not massive. I think it's around 24. Maybe it's a little more. I'm not entirely sure. But they were the first ones to go back to ABC, the network, and say, hey, we are going to preempt Jimmy Kimmel until this situation is handled, because they were not pleased.
Mhm.
And we snowballed very quickly from 12 stations or 24 stations deciding not to air this show to the network pulling the show. And congruently, what also happened is the chairman of the FCC, who gives out all the licenses to TV stations and radio stations, Brendan Carr, he went on, I think, Benny Johnson's podcast today, and he specifically noted Jimmy Kimmel. He specifically discussed Jimmy Kimmel and what he said and how appalling it was, and talked about that appalling. I talked about that he needed to, I'm paraphrasing, but that he needed to be taken to task for what he said Monday night over his comments. So this afternoon, you have Brendan Carr, chairman of the FCC, announcing this on Benny Johnson's show. Then you have Nexstar Media stepping up and say, we are going to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live, meaning we're not going to air it anymore. And then shortly after that, you have Disney and ABC saying we're going to remove Jimmy Kimmel from the schedule indefinitely. Now, I keep saying it that way because that's how they said it. And what's important to note here is they didn't say they were firing him. They didn't say they were canceling the show. So what can come of this? either they sit him out on the sidelines for a couple of days, weeks, months to see if this blows over and if there's a path to coming back on the air via apology or something of that nature, or they're doing this from a legal standpoint where you can fire a person with a contract over comments that they make. It's a little difficult to do when you're talking about creative, who you have to give a lot of flexibility to. But there's gray areas because everybody in every entertainment and performance contract usually has a clause where they can't embarrass the network. You know, they can't say horrific things. And what winds up happening is a legal battle, either in courts or between lawyers, where they determine if this was bad or not. I mean, you look at every news personality from Chris Cuomo to Don Lemon to whoever, all of their careers essentially end this way, where it's like the media company is saying, you said you broke your contract by violating this clause and we'll take you to task for it. And the talent saying, I have the right to say whatever I want. I did not embarrass you. I'm exercising freedom of speech. It was a joke. It was this, it was that. And that just becomes a fight. So a lot of times, and we saw this in radio, the most famous example would be Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony had a contest that went awry. They had contracts. They weren't fired. Their show was suspended. They were paid, so they got all the money in their contract, so they couldn't fight or argue or sue, but they just weren't allowed to do a show anymore. They were taken off the air, which hurt them and their careers in the long term, because it was like a year and a half or 2 years or whatever it was that they became irrelevant. Because if you can't get on the air and do this every day, you eventually become irrelevant. Right. So is that what ABC is planning on doing? Like, it's just worth it for us to pay Kimmel and keep him off and air something else and use that revenue to just let this go away? I don't know how much longer Kimmel has on his contract.
I don't know. Are they going to have guest hosts, or is it the show's gone?
Could it be guest hosts? Right. Yeah. There's no. Yeah. Could they replace it with another show? Or is it worth it to them to just?
I would go. Why can't Kimmel go to?
Because he has a contract.
Be on YouTube. Well, yeah,
YouTube or something like that. Because I'm sure I'm sure there's a clause in there that says you can't do anything on the internet either.
Now, listening to what he said. Now, the part about Trump, he makes fun of Trump all the time, every show.
Yeah.
Was it the part before where he was saying that the right is trying to make it like they don't own, or not own, that the shooter wasn't part?
I think that was a bigger part of it. Yeah.
Because I heard today, I saw it at a couple of outlets, professional news outlets, that the shooter was everybody's like, oh, he's on the right, he's on the right. And I saw today a couple of things that it came out that he was leaning more left recently.
The official story is he comes from a right-wing family, and the New York Post first reported it. The governor of Utah also said that he was dating a man. He had a male roommate who may or may not be transitioned. It's been reported the roommate was transitioning. Doesn't make a difference. He's in a relationship with a man that's going to be a woman or a trans woman, or however you want to categorize it. Multiple penises were involved, right? Let's just say at the moment, because that person hasn't transitioned yet. So if they want to be a she or a they or however they want to be referred to, he's not living a heterosexual lifestyle, it seems, right? So that's why did I start saying this? Why did I go?
I don't know.
What did you just say that I was responding? Oh, that he okay. So, the point is that he came from a right-wing family. Maybe he didn't agree with them. He's gay. Maybe that's why he felt ostracized. To me, and again, we'll talk about this more when we get to Candace Owens, it seems pretty cut and dry that this is a gay person, or however you want to describe it, but a person that's not in a traditional female relationship, that was feeling ostracized and attacked and whatever, and snapped and took it out on Charlie Kirk in the most unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah. And
right. Doesn't seem much more complicated than that to me at the moment.
Well, first it's, he's this way, that he's left, then he's right, now he's left. So I don't, and it's like, I don't know. We're just everybody's like, well, which side is the guy? Is this
Right.
shooter on?
The point I would make is, what difference does it make? And that's what I'm saying. Again,
Because
this goes back to
you have to
people
be able
are
to blame. It's like, oh,
Right.
it's your politics are bad.
because people are lost.
Yeah.
That is what you do when you're lost. When you're stuck in the battle, you're like, well, what side was he on? I don't know if it makes much of a difference if his dad was Republican or his mom was left wing or he was leaning left wing. People start out as Republicans and become Democrats. People start out as Democrats and become Republicans and independents and everything in between. It doesn't really matter. I think, again, it comes down to this kid was dating a guy who was going to become a woman and felt like Charlie Kirk had no tolerance for that. And he took matters into his own hands and he made a bad decision. You know, I don't think we need much more of an explanation than that. Now, if you're stuck in the right versus left war, you're gonna be like, see, you're looking for reasons to be like, see, I told you so. And my urgency to everybody since last Wednesday is stop doing that, because that's not what helps.
Not,
you know,
especially coming from leaders. Leaders should get out there and be like, let's not, no matter what, because mass shootings, unfortunately, or shootings in general, happen all the time, unfortunately. And every time it's, well, what's the political affiliation of the shooter? It's like the leaders should be like, on both sides, should be like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Let's move on.
Well, and let's be fair too.
Well, not move on, but let's move on from the political thing. I mean,
right. To be fair too, the media does it as well. The media is big on how can we categorize this, because again, the media, and again, I put Candace Owens and all those people, Don Lemon, all those people into this mix of how can I fit this into my narrative that helps me? You know, how do I make this work for what I'm trying to tell people every day to keep them on my side and against the other side? And it's like, fuck you. I always feel like I'm not a sucker. Don't con me. I'm not going to go along with you because I agree with you on 60 or 70% of the issues. I can look at every individual thing and make up my own mind without you telling me. So, you know, leaderships, yes, it's a good point on your part. Media, absolutely. And just, I tell people in general, because again, his political affiliation, it doesn't really matter. You know, you could just look at what's and then this whole idea of he was radicalized by the left. It's like, is it radicalized, or is he looking there going, I like to be with a dude and my family, my parents, my sibling, whatever it is, they don't agree. That is going to make you feel a certain way. Whether you're going right to left or left to right, you're going to start to feel alone. You know what I mean? That's what's important to focus on, not he got radicalized. Like, is that radicalization, or is it just like, hold on a second. Just because I like to lick this guy's balls doesn't make me a bad person.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I mean, I hate to be have a harsh example, but that's the truth. He's going to start to look at the world that way. I don't know if he's going to start to look at the world necessarily as a right versus left thing, as much as he's like, I like licking penis. I don't think that's a bad thing. I want to live with my roommate, lick penises, and be happy. And then start to feel like, well, wait a second, this person is attacking me. And then if you just snap, or you're mentally unbalanced, or you're dealing with shit, or you're depressed,
and have access to a weapon,
bad things can happen. Listen, it was Charlie Kirk this time. It could have just as easily been his dad, a teacher.
I'm probably guilty of playing the right versus left game when it comes to, like, I feel like in the past when there's been a shooting, I probably said, you get heated.
Of
course, it's a crazy gun loving whatever, but you get sucked into the right left game, and that's what it is, and it's hard not to, but
it's tough. You're a good person though, and you always have good intentions, and you always talk about forgiveness culture too, that we need a little bit more of that.
And I'm the gun thing, it's so insane.
It's a sensitive thing. Well, you don't want to see innocent people dying.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, there was the Jon Stewart, when he interviewed that guy, and it was about gun control and everything. It was just a perfect interview. I wish he could do that to every leader on the gun issue and just be like, this has got to stop.
Yeah, and listen, you're not
we're out of
wrong.
control in this country with the guns. We got to slow it down. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with some regulation. It's not, what's the word? Shall not be infringed is in the, so everybody sticks to that. It shall not be infringed. Having laws and regulations don't infringe on your right to own a gun. It just gives you a few extra steps, and it helps law enforcement if there's a problem. You could still own the guns. Nobody's going around door to door collecting guns. It's more of there are laws that need to be in place that help us just get this shit under control a little bit. And I'm sorry, but if no one's willing to do anything, it's insane. How could you look at what goes on almost a daily basis in this country and be like, what are you going to do? Nothing gets done. And it's insane. I don't understand why we can't, these hard line Second Amendment, but every other amendment, it's kind of loosey-goosey.
No, listen,
and the Second Amendment is, we got a Second Amendment.
I don't disagree with you, especially on this particular point. I think we could do a better job with the whole gun thing. But definitely there are the like people get cut off from like, oh, let me listen to the other side a little bit more. And I definitely think that's a problem because you get stuck in like a wind tunnel on social media, and it's hard to start to think like, well, let me think outside of this.
Oh, you listen to the other side, but you don't agree with it, so you get.
It's the thought of like, I'm clearly so right about this, and they're clearly so wrong, and then you stop listening. That's what happens sometimes. To everybody.
I get it, but how much do you have? Do you have to listen to I'll listen to whatever you got to say, but
you don't have to listen to Alex Jones. I'm not here to torture you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, how much do I got to listen to before I go, I don't agree with this, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, well, you can tap out. That's the thing, tapping out. Like that's why. Like I just called out Nancy Mace. That's it. I don't think she should lose her job or whatever. Like you say to yourself, like she got caught up in it. It happens. People get caught up in it a little bit.
She's consistently been a bigot towards trans people. She's been
rough around the edges. She's been on the right side of the Epstein thing, though. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get them all wrong.
That should be a pretty easy one. And anybody who's not on the right side of that, side of that, should be. It's like, what are you doing?
We seem to be having difficulty with that easy one, though, as a country.
Yeah, Nancy Mace is very anti-trans and gets on in the Capitol building. Just gets up in front of everybody and starts spewing hatred and slurs towards trans people, and it's like, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You're just a whole segment of the population. You're just marginalizing and being like, fuck them, and it's like, this is not helping anything. What do you think is going to happen as a result? It's going to your words are going to encourage more people. You're a leader. Your words are going to be heard by so many people.
They don't think that way. It's unfortunate. They should be a better leader. But it goes back to the pendulum thing that we always talk about of like it has swung in a place that's unfortunate right now for trans people who are good people. There's nothing wrong with them, and
which is most trans. You can't. There's going to be bad people in every group.
But it's a reaction to the left trying to be so inclusive and welcoming and accepting that they started putting this stuff into like kindergarten classes and shit like that, which is what caused this massive, rebuttal from the right, which is then now they've taken it too far. I do want to get to some comments here, Frank, because there's been some good ones. First of all, we should all live by whatever Miss Justice says, especially this comment right here. This podcast is so much better when you're stoned. Now, I don't know if she means her or me. But
when we're stoned or either way.
I don't know who, but I feel like all of us. And then she fired out Jimmy Kimmel, which shame on everybody else for not getting to that brilliant line.
Well done, Miss Justice. Now, I don't have a bong sound effect, but that's the best I could do. Is that good bubbly bong? Why is there water in a bong? By the way, I don't even know why.
I have no idea.
I don't think I've ever seen a bong in person except like in a store window.
True. Yeah, true. Frank not having his proper sound effects, my fault, by the way. I'll take responsibility for that. And then Robin said, Megan, make Megan forgivable again. I just want everybody to know that everything I said to Frank just now about being forgiving and accepting and all that, none of that applies to Meghan Markle. That is really legitimately the one exception to the rule.
You've got to get over the Meghan Markle thing. I don't understand why you.
By the way,
are so hung up.
You say bad things about President Trump. I sent President Trump a note on Monday.
All right, this is a lie, but go ahead.
I said, if you can get, while you're over there, I said to him, you get that royal family to take that Meghan Markle back, and there's a $5 in it for you.
Ooh, $5. He might do that. He might actually go take you up on that.
Yeah.
For $5?
Well, I think he might be thinking like, oh, 5 billion or a million at least. But I just said
you gotta be
$5.
specific.
I think his circle of friends, a $5 is a million. In our circle of friends, a $5 is a 5.
If you send them a link to the website, isn't there a Fiverr.com? Isn't that like a
good point? I should do that. I should link
you could hire someone to do whatever and not pay them.
And I just want to say this too. I put a lot of eggs in the Trump basket here, but if anybody can get the royal family to take Meghan Markle back, that $5 is up for grabs. Anybody can get that. So,
verbal contract.
Her friends, some random person on Twitter.
Witness.
It doesn't make a difference. Anyway, Kimmel. So that's how the dominoes fell. It was Brendan Carr, FCC, it was Nexstar Media, and then Disney. Now, Frank's going to love this part of it. We can't put our heads under the sheets and act like shit's not happening.
Quite the metaphor.
As soon as Colbert got canceled, President Trump said, Kimmel's next. And this is a Republican FCC. That's Donald Trump's guy in there. And listen, I'm not here to stoke flames or cause conspiracy theories, but again,
what are you here for?
Hearing what Kimmel said, there are so many other things that were so much worse that was said. This feels to me like a little bit of a vendetta. This feels to me like, oh, that is Charlie Kirk adjacent and good enough for us to put this out there and see if we could legitimately get this guy removed. And I think that's exactly what happened. And the reason why I bring it up is, and despite what people are going to say to me in the comments below, this is not a right versus left issue.
Seems to be.
It is a no administration, no matter what their affiliation, should be able to command free speech like this.
It's the First Amendment, man. It's the very first one. It's the first one. Neither rain nor snow. It's the first one.
And Frank, and this might be unfair for me to say, but I hold the Republicans in a higher regard in this instance because they are the party of live and let live. They are the party of...
Which party is that?
Of less government and free speech. But what I think
which party was that?
The Republicans.
Really?
It's supposed to be. They traditionally are.
Thank you.
And why I say that is because
ask Roe v. Wade if that's the case anymore.
I think what's happening here now is the Republicans, Donald Trump especially, because Donald Trump looked at this since 2016 and said, forget the Republican, because he wasn't even a Republican, he was a Democrat. But I think he said, forget the Republican Party. I'm going to make this my party. I don't even care what the Republicans really want. I'm going to make it my party. And we saw him bend them to his will with the abortion thing. Now, where it wound up certainly was not where a lot of people wanted it to go or was expecting. But you heard him talk about on the campaign trail early on in those 16 election days, hey, you can't be opposed to abortion and want to win elections, right? He said that a lot. He took that party and said, forget what you guys think. I'm going to mold you into what I think can win. And that's what he did. And I think he's doing it now where he and I think everybody else are totally aware they are infringing on free speech. They're doing things that the left wing has done with political correctness and cancel culture. And they're doing it now, knowing they're being hypocritical because they're just like, hey, they did it for so long. Now we're going to do it and see how they like it. I don't agree and think it's good. I'm just saying that is what I think is happening at the current moment. And what's interesting about it is I don't know if Disney is fearing more retribution because of what has happened to college campuses and other media companies that have been taken head on by this administration, or if they're just looking at this and going, the value that's in the late night shows now is no longer worth this fight, because that's also a part of it. Because if the Jimmy Kimmel show and the Stephen Colbert show were bringing in millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of pure profit, they would fight these battles and they would tell these administrations to go fuck themselves. But because that money has seemingly dried up from this area of entertainment, it's unfortunate and almost makes it seem like these parent companies are going, hey, this is not fair, not right, but it's not worth the battle. We've got other things to do. We've got mergers. We've got this. We've got that. We can't sit. Like, I think that's kind of what happened with Colbert. It's like, hey, your juice ain't worth the squeeze anymore. It's unfortunate, but we're trying to make a merger and make a couple more $1 billion, and we're all greedy fucks. And you're not the path to it anymore. So you got to go. Sorry. And that's real life in any job anywhere.
Yeah, but I think they should live on social, YouTube. If Jimmy Kimmel and Colbert did their show on YouTube every day, would it make millions and millions? I don't know, but you probably get a bunch of advertisers. I'm sure it would do just fine.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Again, this isn't the worst thing. If I told you Jimmy Kimmel got canceled over Charlie Kirk comments, you would not assume this. Let's play it again for people just joining us.
Finger pointing. There was grieving on Friday. The White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some
hold on. I don't think I started.
Interest in personal information. Trump's buddy will have them instead. At least it's somebody we can trust, though, right? We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been.
All right, so that's basically the crux of it. I also, looking back on that a second time, again, not being a homer here to the right, you're a funny guy. Do you need that intro? Like, I would look at that from an editing perspective and go, Jimmy, I don't know if we need the first part of this to make the Trump change the subject. The joke is Trump changed the subject from something serious to the ballroom.
Right.
That's the break line. Did you need that run up? Because again,
he has that. He does that. He does these weird, long-winded. Even when he intros a bit of some kind, it's like 5 minutes till they get to the bit. Yeah,
but I will also say, and again, Kimmel, the way I said Trump, that's the way he is. This is the way Kimmel is. This is the show he does. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. But at the same time,
getting canceled.
Right. At the same time, like, I look at those late night guys and they're a little lost too, especially Kimmel, especially Colbert. It's like, Leno took a lot of shit and a lot of criticism, and a lot of it he deserved. But the one thing that he was really good at was being funny for everybody. He put comedy first in front of personal shit. These guys don't do that as much, and I think it's part of the reason that's hurt them.
I get that. That was his style of show. Yeah. And if you don't want to do that style of show, you don't have to do that style of show, I guess. But this was the direction that they went in. It was I do my whole monologue and a couple of bits about how, if they don't do it, it's one of those, I agree, it's free speech. You're allowed to do these things.
Totally.
So if you want to do that and you want to make your show about it, that's what you do. That's what it is. If you don't, you don't. But if nobody did it, then it would go unchecked.
It would go unchecked. It's a good point. Good point. It's a good point by you. But I also feel like, and tell me if you disagree with this, Fallon is in a much safer spot, I think, for two reasons. One, it's the Tonight Show. It's just a institution.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. He can get the can, and the
You're
show
right.
could stay.
But I think it's more of an institution than Colbert's spot and Kimmel's spot.
Right.
And two, he does political Fallon, but he has since moved back to Leno's approach a little bit more of, I'm just going to try and get viral clips for 12-year-old girls on the internet. Like, that seems to be his North Star more than anything else. Yeah. James says he needs to show strength, can't be vulnerable about Charlie in public. I think that's the course that Donald Trump has taken. Like, sympathy and empathy is not his thing, especially.
Strength is one thing. If you want to show strength, fine. But this isn't strength. This is ignoring the question. This is like, I'm not even going to address what you just said. He could have just as easily said, yeah, it's been set. It's a sad situation. We're all pulling together. He was and then he can go on he was a great guy. He was a this, he was a that, whatever he wants to say about him. And then say, and then move on to something else. But you to just go, I'm good. Look at this ballroom. It's like, what are you talking about? That's not.
No, I get it. It's not the response that you wanted. I get that. But
it's not a human response. If someone asked you, how are you doing over so-and-so, someone's close to you passed away, and you go, good. Look at this ballroom. I don't even know. It's like, people can, normal, if you're not a leader, if you're just one-on-one with someone, you can get away with that and be like, all right, he doesn't want to talk about it. I get it. It's a sensitive topic. Understood. But when you're the leader of the free world and someone asks you, hey, how are you holding up about a death of someone that was close to you? I think it's pretty good. Look at this ballroom. It's like, no, you address that. That's something that people who are sad about Charlie Kirk's death want to hear you get, say something that people can relate to, say something that maybe lifts some spirits in some way. You're a leader. You're not just some other schmo on the street. You're a guy that has to set an example, and he never does that. And anytime he does set an example, it's not a good one.
Paul says, as ever, shows love wins. Listen, I've shown grace through these Meghan Markle attacks tonight on this episode. Okay, I'm hanging in there. I think to wrap it up, give my final thoughts on it is I'm a little worried. I don't love the infringement on free speech. Sure. I get that this is a battle between both sides, but I also am slightly concerned. And I wish I wish the administration would pull the stick back, pull the nose up a little bit, and
not going to
get back to leading and all of that. Don't worry about silencing these guys. And by the way, people on the right should be concerned with this too. It's never good to have everybody just go your way. It is good to have critiques and criticism. I was reading a piece, Frank, about the best employees in any company. The best employees are the ones who go to their supervisors and go, do you have any thoughts or critiques on my performance? Like, those are your best people, because the people that can't take a criticism will never, ever improve. The people that are like, hey, can I be doing my job any better for you? Those are the fucking people that...
You think Trump's ever going to say anything like that? He doesn't want to hear criticism.
I'm just making a point that you need criticism in every situation, no matter what it is that you're doing.
But anybody that criticizes the president is on the shit list. You can't criticize, God forbid, you criticize the president in any way. Now you're an enemy.
Yeah. The other reason why I wish he would calm it down a little bit is because
you can wish what you want. It's not going to happen.
This is all wish in one hand, shit in the other. That's such a great phrase. You never heard that?
No.
Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. You never heard that expression?
That's great, though.
You've never heard that expression?
No.
Oh my God.
Where the hell did you hear that?
I don't even know. I'm somewhere around Queens. I feel like that's an oldie, but a goodie.
All right.
I forgot what I was going to say now. Shit. No, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, nobody's listening to you.
You said enough shit already. Enough, Anthony. We're tired of your bullshit.
What you have to say.
Wow. Anyway, that's the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. We'll see where we go from here. We're going to see what happens next. Again, it's fascinating.
Until every host falls in line and kisses the president's ass, I don't think this is going to stop.
It would be hilarious if Fallon went on next show and was like, here's the top 10 reasons President Trump is great. Like, that's how you got to kill these people with those jokes. Like, those are the brilliant jokes where you're like, you're being facetious, but you're saying all good. Like, you can't, those are almost impenetrable jokes.
Right. I get that. But how do you craft those reasons, those top 10 reasons? Are they serious reasons?
No, they're facetious. You gotta know, you gotta be good.
Which is not going to land well.
Criticizing it with compliments. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're not going to be compliments if they're criticisms.
No, but you could say, shit, he's got the best hair we've ever seen. You could do it. You could do it. It could be done.
If they're sarcastic, sure.
Yeah, sarcastic, of course. They bring the humor to it all. Quickly, Frankie C, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but Kash Patel went in front of Congress. There was a lot of questionable things said.
Cut off here.
What's that?
I feel like I'm cut off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I hate when it does that. Let me pull this up. I want to bring this. I want to bring this up. Kash Patel. How do I say this, Frank? He's said a lot of things. He's relying heavily on technicality.
Okay.
And on the surface, a lot of the things he said are. Did that pop? What happened there?
I put it back.
Let's do this. Hold on.
I have control over the show.
I love that you have control now.
There
we go. We can't not see Frankie's beautiful face. That's the money shot.
All right, easy.
That's the face that people go, who's that ugly guy? And then they go, oh, at least the guy on the bottom's not that bad looking. You know what I'm saying? It saves it all.
What happens? I don't think that.
Yeah, sometimes.
What were you even saying?
I'm trying to figure
out fun stuff. What?
Yeah, I know. We have to just do this quickly. Kash Patel said, this is sensitive for Frank because his wife used to date Kash Patel. I think they were engaged.
Not true.
It's very sensitive to it.
Went to school together.
By Halloween, I'm going to have you being the stepfather to one of Kash Patel's kids. You know that, right? Just going to keep escalating and getting worse. And it's your wife who suffers because I'm trying to insult you and she's just like collateral damage in all of this, which is the unfortunate part about it.
Which makes you a dick.
Yeah. But Kash Patel said, this is because I don't label my clips. Kash Patel said, I think this was it, that he.
Oh my God, what did he say?
He released everything that he had to, and that he can't release anything else.
Horse shit.
He's basically saying they put it in front of judges and the judges denied it, which we discussed that, and it's total bullshit.
There could be, why can't they do they do this all the time with Congress. They have a closed door where the Senate can look at everything and say, the FBI can hand it over to them and say, this is what we have. Doesn't have to, and then they will decide, hey, yeah, you're right. You gave us everything. Or, no, you didn't.
Right. Right, exactly.
They've done that before, I feel. That's a thing that happens.
So I have like 10 clips. I'm going to just play this one.
That's too many clips.
It's way too many clips. I'm going to just play this one because, believe it or not, Mr. Kennedy here actually was an example of pure leadership. We'll maybe skip around, but let me play this. This is Kash Patel. Kash says the worst, stupidest thing here. Mr. Kennedy says something actually worth listening to. So.
Files. Have you seen the Epstein files?
By the way, I don't know where Mr. Kennedy is from. I don't know what his affiliate. I think he's a GOP guy. It doesn't really make a difference. How much, when you hear this guy talk, how much do you just want to impersonate it? How much?
Absolutely.
It has like a Colonel Sanders kind of like, have you seen the Epstein files? Like it has that
I said, Kash Patel.
Yeah. He's got this little lisp that is so wonderful that you just want to do that voice, you know?
You have no choice.
As soon as I watched this yesterday, I said to my wife, I was like, what do you think we should make for dinner tonight? Or supper, as I like to call it, you know?
Supper?
Yeah.
Did anybody say supper?
This guy fucking does. Fucking Kennedy says supper. That motherfucker is a supper. He doesn't have dinner. He has supper.
The entirety of it myself.
I could tell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But a good amount.
He hasn't seen all of it, but a good amount.
Okay. Good point.
What the fuck?
First stupid answer. Be like,
what the fuck?
I'm the FBI director. I'm on top of it. Just say that.
But that's a lie. If you're in front of, you don't want to lie. If you're under oath.
Truth bomb. That is a truth bomb.
Oh, good.
That's
Would
my
it
sound
be
effect.
fair to say that Mr. Epstein trafficked young women, including in some instances minors, for sex to himself?
That was specifically the allegations in the 2018 indictment in the Southern District of New York.
Okay. Who else did he traffic these young women to?
In terms of what the investigation, again, going back to 2008, Mr. Acosta, who limited the investigation and limited the search warrants and limited the parameters of the investigation, the only thing we are able to speak to publicly, because he was given a non-prosecution agreement by Mr. Acosta, is that first time period from, I believe, don't quote me on this, 97 to 2001-ish. And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files.
Okay. Because I want to, what Kennedy says here is important, but I want to stop it there. Do you hear the game he's playing? He's respecting the prosecution deal that Epstein got. Why?
Illegal? I guess legally, does he have to? No, right?
Right, but who's going to challenge? Like, who is going to?
It's not like Epstein's going to sue him.
It's not like Epstein's brother is going to. Like, Epstein's brother is not going to do that. And also, we're acting like law enforcement doesn't skirt the law when necessary. Meaning, investigators, police, whatever. They've never leaked anything to the press to put pressure on situations, to get things further investigated, bring it to the public light, force it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what's your point with what he said? My
point is, if you need to get information out, it can get out.
Yeah.
Leaks occur. Do you think the media is great? And the media has been really great with Epstein.
What does that have to do with that question?
I'll get to it. But him being like, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Like, I'm not going to play that game with Kash Patel. You can, you're choosing not to. You know what I'm saying? I can't legally talk about the scope of the investigation because of the prosecutor. Guy, assuming that that's legally sound, what about all the stuff that doesn't have to do with that particular case that you're sitting on? You're going to sit there and you're going to tell people, which he'll expand on, Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic women or minors to anybody but himself, and act like that's because legally you're like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, honestly, if you think we buy that for a second, you're out of your mind. He was the only client. He was the only person that it was him and just a bunch of come on.
Even if we were going to come remotely close to believe it, to playing along with this, are we going to just ignore Prince Andrew? Are we going to ignore the emails from what's his name that came out a couple of weeks ago that they were talking about women?
The birthday fucking book or whatever the hell.
I mean, give me a fucking break. All right, listen to Mr. Kennedy.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one.
See, but do you hear it? There's no credible information that he trafficked women to other people. But again, the information is limited.
Why?
No, it's not.
FBI.
You're the FBI.
You have all that information. It's whatever. Who would have that information?
Yeah.
If not you.
They're all playing this semantics of files and files and files. We know you took hours and hours of videotape out of his homes. We know for sure it was Manhattan. We know it was the island.
Well, yeah, exactly. Where is all that? What did that show? Did that show other people? It was just one man amongst all these trafficked women or girls.
It's amazing.
And what was my other point was, it went right out of my head. Go ahead.
But again, the semantics, the legalities, the this or the that, people are not interested in that. People want answers. And and Kennedy, listener's response.
For the information that we have
In the files.
in the case file.
Okay. Now,
Case
No,
file.
thank you. Got it.
In the case file.
Big man on campus in the case file. He's playing semantic games with us.
Yeah, he's saying I can't really. He's choosing which part to answer from behind.
Right.
He could answer in representation of everything that they have, but he's choosing to answer just representing what he can't put forward.
It's like if there's 50,000 boxes of information on this, he's like, well, these 400 boxes.
I can't tell you
are
what's
the
in
case
these
files.
4. Yeah.
I don't even think he wants to look in those other, but pre him being named to the administration, he was one of the people. Dan Bongino was one of the people
Sure
that
was.
was open it all up, everybody. We need to know all of this. And now he's just all of a sudden, he's like a racehorse.
Yep. And what I was going to say before is I can't wait for the unfortunate victims to come forward. They were going to put together their list, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously a list, but for some reason, Kash Patel doesn't have that list.
Right. Unfortunately, the pressure has been put on them. They have got to come to the table. I have not heard peep from them since that big demonstration that day. I was very proud of them.
Yeah.
I support them. I don't know what they're doing, but if I could speak to the victims directly, I hate that this is falling on you this way. They're almost like the transgender people. I hate that this is happening to you right now, but it's one of those times where you got to pull your pants up, dig your feet in, and you got to fight your way all the way through this because nobody's going to give this one to you.
Yeah,
it's a battle.
I thought that was amazing when they all were like, fine, we'll release the list. We know who they are. We remember. We were there, unfortunately. And we know who it was. Oh, man, I cannot wait until they do that.
It was the greatest move. Frank, it was the greatest move I've ever seen since I was in the 5th grade. I was in the 5th grade. I was bitching and moaning to my mom that I didn't want to read. And we had to read a book. I was reading a Saved by the Bell book. Talk about embarrassment.
I didn't even know those existed.
Talk about an embarrassing past. I feel like
Epstein's
here and I'm here.
Is that canon to the whole
is it canon
by the Bell lore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but at some point they just wrote these Saved by the Bell books, and you had to read a book in school. I love Saved by the Bell, so I'm reading the Saved by the, and I'm complaining, and my mother grabs the book out of my hand because I'm fighting her to read it. She grabs the book out of my hand. She throws it on top of the refrigerator, and she goes, "Now you can't read the book." She studied me.
She Bronx-tailed you.
She Bronx-tailed me.
Wow.
Goes, now you can't read the book, and I just sat there going, "Oh fuck."
You have to read that.
And that was one of the greatest things she ever did, because in that moment I grew up, because I was just like, I'm not going to complain about when those victims came out and go, we'll release it, no problem. I felt that moment again of like, fuck.
That was a baller move, man.
That's 4D chess moves right there.
That's a great, and I hope they're able to move forward with it and do it and yeah, just get it out there, because I wonder when that's going to happen, because that would be a huge amazing day of boom, here's a list, or just do a press conference like they did and just read it out. And says, here we go.
Yeah.
Don't post it. Just get in front of a microphone and cameras and say, here's the list.
Here it is.
This is what is being hidden. This is what they're not telling you. These are the people.
But you agree, right? He's playing semantics. He's acting like I can't really do anything about it. It's like, where was the guy? Where was the podcast guy?
Yeah, and why wouldn't this Kennedy guy? He didn't catch it.
Well,
or
listen,
he's not willing to catch it.
Well, listen to what he says here. But it's like, where's Podcast Patel? Where's that guy? I want to get that guy back in here.
I think he's gone.
The guy hungry for information.
Trump has deferred to the FBI and the Department of Justice. President Trump has deferred to the FBI and the Department of Justice with respect to the Epstein records. He says it is your call about releasing them. And I understand that the department and the agency have decided to release them in cooperation with the House committee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're releasing them a little bit at a time. Is that correct?
We're releasing as much as we can, but we are limited by 3 different court orders. And the department went back to each of those judges to waive those court orders or have them lifted, and each of those judges declined.
Will you release all of them, or at least as many as you can?
We will release everything we are legally permitted to do so. We are continuing to work with the House on the subpoena request. We have substantially complied with it, but we will continue to release whatever we are legally permitted to do so.
Okay. I strongly encourage you to do that. Kash, this issue is not going to go away. And I think the central question for the American people is this. They know that Epstein trafficked young women for sex to himself. They want to know who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to. And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer. And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people's understanding.
How many times does somebody in Congress say something that is so poignant and so well represented of how mostly everybody feels than what that guy just said just now?
Yeah, it makes sense.
He just basically said, hey, they want more, and it's a fair question.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the whole thing. I know what your legal challenges are. Figure it out. You're the FBI.
Figure it out. You have to do. This is the question, and we need answers. I don't know why. I feel like whatever the Epstein files has should be shown to Congress and to the senators, and because they could do closed door things and they can do private. Here's everything. They have a confident. What's the word? When something is sealed or confidential, classified. When something's classified, can't be in the public, whatever, for whatever reason, they could have the closed door thing and the officials see it. And that, I don't know why they don't just do that. And then the officials turn around and go, yeah, Kash Patel's right, we can't. Or Kash Patel is wrong, here's everything.
Right, exactly. Well said, Frank. I got nothing else to say behind that other than thank you to ABC7 Chicago for the clip on YouTube right there. That's really it, Frank. Quickly, I don't know if you have anything else, but we're popping a little viral right now on TikTok, or I think it's Instagram.
Okay.
Because I criticized Candace Owens last episode because she was discussing the fact that Charlie Kirk met with Bill Ackman, who's a billionaire, in the Hamptons, and how he felt pressured. She described it as under duress.
Charlie Kirk was under duress?
Correct. That they were discussing Charlie Kirk's changing views on Israel and how the conversation, again, he was under duress. It got heated, that Bill Ackman put Charlie Kirk on the phone with Benjamin Netanyahu so that he could talk about it. that Benjamin Netanyahu invited Charlie Kirk to Israel for a meeting. She said that she was propositioned similarly when her views on Israel changed. And this entire 6-minute, I mean, there was a whole podcast episode she did. I was playing parts of the 6-minute clip the whole time. I mean, this is within a week of the guy getting assassinated in public. The whole time she is just alluding to the fact that Israel, I mean, it's the things that's not said, but you're saying, like, she's just like, hey, everybody, all this stuff happened. Isn't this like a coincidence that it happened, and now he's dead? And she was propositioned and she felt the pressure, and Benjamin Netanyahu was trying to pressure him, and just alluding to the fact that Israel has something to do with this.
I mean, she does push a lot of conspiracy theories. She's big on those, I feel.
It's a nice way of saying she's batshit fucking crazy.
Batshit crazy, she is. I mean, one of the things she's said in the past, so I take everything she says. She's just, I can't listen to what she has to say. She said that dinosaurs aren't real. She doesn't believe in dinosaurs. She's like, millions of years ago, and now we're just finding she's batshit in a lot of ways. So
can I say it's the fake dinosaurs that are making the frogs gay when you think about it?
Well, that's, you put them together on a podcast and have them just crazy each other out. It would be we'll have a crazy off and just see who drops first. Just let them yell conspiracy theories at each other.
Yeah. And I got 50 that says he cries first. That's for sure. That's for sure.
He cries just by yelling too loud. For some reason, makes him cry.
You're a big crier now. All of a sudden, something yeah. Paul says, and lots of people are saying that too. So I've noticed that.
Lots of people on X are saying, a Loch Ness. It's. You have to once it's verified and things. There's conspiracy theories everywhere. We don't know until we know. I'm not going to sit here and I don't know. I can't just start speculating on a weird theory that may or not. I heard from a person who went to this, who saw this, or may so. It's like it's a game of telephone, and who the hell knows what's right? I can't from one source that's Candace Owens. No, sorry.
You're making a similar point to what I was making, which was, does she have to go to air with this right now? Like, if
it's an attention grabber.
Thank you. Because it's like, if you're really friends with somebody who was just, for fairness sake, one of the most brutal public assassinations that you've seen, right? I mean, we've all seen somebody kill somebody else, but it's rare that 5,000 people are watching the person when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just, it makes it such a bigger thing.
We've all seen someone kill I guess maybe we have.
Like on video, like you've seen bad people do bad things to people. People die on. This had a special thing to it that made it even more
vivid and brutal, and it was it was one of those things that it was disturbing.
So that's a great way of saying it. So that just happens to your friend. And you're on the air less than a week later with a half-baked theory about how we can circle this back to blaming Jewish people. Like, again, I've been getting attacked.
I didn't even think of it that way. I thought of it I didn't think of it as that. I thought of it as blaming the government blaming Netanyahu. But I didn't think of it as, you're right.
Well, he's Jewish, right? Israelis, Jewish people, however you want to say it, right?
You're right.
But it's like, if you got publicly assassinated, I don't think I would be on the air within 5 days being like, who we got to look at is the Jews. I mean, even if I suspected it, even if we're assuming everything she said is true about this Hamptons meeting and Benjamin Netanyahu, which I'm having a hard time believing.
Go to the authorities if you think someone did something wrong.
Thank you. And I understand the argument.
I
understand the argument of, well, you got to bring it to the public to put the pressure. I understand that argument. I I just feel in my heart of hearts, it's an attention grab.
Of course it is. That's her game. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and make up anything about anybody. But I know she. I can't take anything she says at face value. She's not my
Credible.
She's not, in my opinion. I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and denigrate someone's whatever livelihood or whatever, but she's not, in my opinion, credible.
But the amazing thing to me is
and again, like you said, there's attacking, just pointing it to Jewish people. It's like, I feel, isn't that like, I can't, I'm not gonna. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, but it's like everybody's being taken to task and fired and losing their jobs for saying bad things about Charlie Kirk, and some of the things that she said was like worse. And we talk about leadership and de-escalating the situation, and she's sitting there going, well, I mean, the Jews, right? I mean, it's like
it's batshit, and it's divisive, it's anti-Semitic, and it's terrible. And it's like, how could you, anytime anybody says it's this group of people, it's like, what are you doing? That is the definition of racism. I mean, if you totally just blame an entire group of people for one act, you say, now it's all of them are responsible. It's like, what? Isn't that the definition of racism? That's categorizing a whole group of people for the actions of one person. That's
right.
insane.
And by the way, like, both things could be true. Like, Bill Aikman could have been convincing him to change his mind back. Bill Aikman could have put him on the phone with Benjamin Netanyahu. They could be talking about it.
Yeah, you don't know anything about anything that was said there, or who said what, or who was on the phone with who.
Right.
Speculating, I feel like, for the most part, going off of what you just told me. I didn't see the Candace Owen clip, but I don't know what she said. But it sounds like she was just, this could be this. Well, if it's worth looking into, then bring it to the authorities. And if you're just doing it to be hateful toward a group of people, then that's disgusting and you're terrible.
And finish looking through it then. Like, she had this half-assed explanation and just was like, here it is, everybody. Clearly it's the Jewish people's fault. So
why would you?
Which is a story. Because again, both things could be true. They could have had those meetings. Everything that she said.
That's not true. No, that you can't. The Jewish people are not responsible.
No, but what I'm saying is everything she said could be true. The meeting, the phone call with Netanyahu, all that could be true, and he still could have been killed by a nut bar that flipped under pressure for his lifestyle and his whatever. That story makes so much more sense to me. But Frank, you would think that I was the crazy person if you look in the comments for what people are saying, because it's absolutely nuts what people are saying. Take a look. Let's see it, but go ahead. Here's the video on it's on Instagram. It's taking off. We can go to the Instagram thing too. But look at the first comment. That's somebody posted.
Ooh. What the hell? Social media is just a cesspool of hate and awfulness. That's just insane.
That's not even the worst.
The fact that even exists, that meme, that's even a thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much. I mean, there's others that are bad that they hid, but this one, look at this one.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
This caricature of a large nosed person that clearly represents.
God, how is this? This was on what platform?
This is TikTok.
How is this? Can you flag these things? You report these things for hate speech and
Yeah, I could. The reason why I haven't so far is because I wanted to just show people, and you can see who it is. Like, I just want people to see.
And 5 people liked it.
5 people liked it.
What the fuck, man?
5 people looked at that and went,
Holy cow, this isn't. I mean, the hate. This is the absolute. And just think about the people who didn't click, who agree with it and didn't click it.
And didn't click on it. Yeah.
That is just disgusting behavior. Anybody who thinks like that, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's so crazy. And you know what's so funny? It's different when it happens to you, right? Because like I look at this and I go, not that any of this is important, but I go, first of all, I'm not Jewish, right? Like I always make the joke. I'm not great on my own religion. I'm not gonna be great at a religion that ain't even mine, right? Thanks for doing that. I'm not Jewish. Second of all, this idea of I wonder who's behind it, like your old pal Aunt and Frankie C are just taking that special interest money from wherever it's coming from. Like I got news for you, we ain't.
Nope,
it ain't. We'd have nicer clothes on if we were, right?
I'm wearing the very.
Hey, at least we're both wearing show shirts.
Got this for free, baby.
You know, and it's just like, again, these are lost people. This idea of, oh, it must be this whole, there's not meetings, there's no scoreboard. Like this doesn't exist.
Racism, the blatant racism and the just awfulness. How do you think that way?
Yeah.
And not realize that you're you're wrong. That's just awful.
Yeah.
Why you would do that.
And when it comes to Charlie Kirk, you know, we have a police buddy, but this is an old adage. Everybody knows this. Like they always say, like if the wife or the husband winds up dead in the house, it was most likely in the kitchen and it was most likely the spouse. Like you come across the dead husband in the house or the dead wife in the house, odds are it was probably the spouse, you know? And it's like, that's what we have with Charlie Kirk. Like I said, it was the gay guy who felt attacked, not supported by his family or whatever we're going to learn about this Tyler Robinson.
Yeah. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh my God, it was someone who obviously didn't like Charlie Kirk and disagreed with him and hated what he had to say. But I'm going to wait until they know. Why would you go out and speculate and say, this is who it is? I think this is who it is. I think that. Right. Wait. We don't know anything yet, and then you know whatever you gotta say, you gotta say. But
it's that approach, my friend. So you're alone on that island, though. By the way, but you're right. That's the way it should be handled. But right away, everybody rushes to just how do I fit this into my?
How do I blame the other side, and how do I take credit for going? See, it's like
yeah. And listen,
the problem is guns. There's so much wrong here.
And I don't listen. Do I think governments do shady shit? Yeah, of course, all the time, all of them, absolutely. You know, do I think that the Israel-Palestine conflict is very complicated? It's not black and white. It's a knot with 400 sides to it. It is. I feel like the people but you have to, like on Instagram, this one comment on Instagram was like, I believe Candace. And I'm like, follow blindly. That's good. Like, these are the same people that are like, do your research and come to your own conclusions. And then they're like, I believe in Candace. It's like,
okay. Follow up question: why do you believe in Candace? Why do you believe what she has to say?
Right.
Please explain, because there's no reason to follow that line of. I mean, because obviously you have people like that posted those memes that believe crazy shit and the hatred, and I just don't. It's hard to wrap your head around how someone could be that overtly just fucking just terrible to an entire group of people for no reason.
Yeah, and I'm not going to rehash, but if you go back to the last episode, I thought we did a great job with Candace Owens and Don Lemon, opposite sides of the spectrum, both pulling a bullshit card when it comes to this, just for their own personal gain, you know. And my wife said to me, she goes, why do you think people are like this? And you tell me what you think, because my only theory is there's got to be a boogeyman. My theory is
they need an enemy to rally behind, or rally their troops behind.
Most people are miserable. Yeah, they get up early. They go to a job they hate. They take shit all day. They come home, and it doesn't matter what side they're on, right or wrong, that left or right, or it doesn't. None of it even matters. They just go, you know, that part. You know what? You know what? It probably is those people. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, and that goes into that turns into those posts I just showed you.
Yeah, but then the sane person should be able to go, "No, that's stupid. Why would I think that?" They don't just go one step further. You know, just don't stop at that. If you get that thought in your head of, "Oh, it's probably these people," go just take the next logical thought that says, "Why would I blame a whole group of people for one person? And why would I trust?" Well, I heard this and that and this and that, or a person who consistently just spouts conspiracy theories and doesn't know what you're talking about. So I don't understand the hate and the bigotry and the awful way people can be. I don't get it. I don't understand why people do that. And it's just it doesn't forward any kind, it doesn't help anything. It doesn't do anything except create more hate.
I have a theory. And I'll use these examples. In my mind, it doesn't have anything to do with Charlie Kirk. Doesn't have anything to do with Israel and Palestine. Doesn't have anything to do with actual racism. It has to do with I'm miserable. I hate my job. I'm not where I'm supposed to be in my lot in life. My boss is a dick to me. Why is he such a dick to me? It's all these things that just get picked up and transferred to, whatever. Like Tyler Robinson transferred it to Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens transferring it to Jewish people. Like everybody moves their own.
There's got to be an enemy. I feel like
it's almost not even racist. Like it's almost like it manifests itself in racism, but the origins of it almost don't even start in racism or hatred.
And I don't even know why why they need an enemy. What if there were no enemies? What if tomorrow we woke up and nobody was fighting anybody? And you didn't have an enemy. What would happen if a broadcaster or a podcast or whoever got on the thing and instead of saying it's these people's fault, it's that person's fault, and say, nope, they got the guy, it was his fault, nobody else is to blame?
I'll tell you what would happen. You put our numbers next to Candace Owens' numbers and you go, oh, that's what happened. Yeah, nobody engages with it. It doesn't get clicks. It just doesn't get clicks.
It doesn't get clicks.
And that's the thing. Like that's what I said the other day. I go, Candace Owens goes, oh, I know what'll get. And it pisses me off. You're not going to start singing the John Lennon song. Like,
it's easy if you try, Dick.
It pisses me off that our preferred medium, being on mics, talking directly to people, has been hijacked is not the right word. Convoluted is not the right word. Taken from us for these people that are just click obsessed attention seekers.
Well,
because Howard Stern, when he started, didn't have to deal with that. Yes, you did outrageous things. Yes, you did things to get attention, but it wasn't as bad as this.
Right. Well, back then, the only people who could reach a wide range audience were broadcasters. There were no podcasts. There were no internet shows like this. But
you still had to have skills. There still had to be talent.
Well, yeah, people, you this was your job. This was your livelihood back in the day. Now, people mostly for free just turn the mic on, turn the camera on, and go, hey, here's what I feel. And everybody has a show, and everybody has an opinion, and which is fine. Everybody, that's free speech. You get on thing and you could say stuff, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But know that whatever you say, there's cause and effect. So you say something bad, people are either going to turn you off. You're going to get fined. You're going to get, whatever. There are consequences that if you say something wrong or bad or distasteful or whatever, you could be, the government shouldn't censor. That's free speech. The government can't, do anything in terms of like if you criticize the government, you're allowed to do that, or you should be allowed to do that anyway. That's free speech, but that's being attacked now. So who the hell knows where that's going? But my point is, if everybody can have a voice, that's great. that the audience, the mics are open and everybody can, talk to each other. That's, wonderful.
Right.
But there are going to be people who say awful, vile shit.
Yeah.
Because, like I said before, in every group, broadcasters and whatever included, people who have a microphone and a camera, you're going to have bad people that say shit that is fucked up. And it's unfortunate that some of those people get a huge audience.
Right.
And, then you have social media, a place like social media where it's got to be policed more in terms of, maybe it doesn't have to be, I don't know. I feel like you are on a different side of the wall with this one, because free speech I get, but when it's social media, that's a privately owned thing. Hate speech, probably. I'm all for hate speech being taken down, and
we're gonna clip that and take off the part where you say being taken down.
No, you're an ass. You're a jerk. Please don't do that.
So I'm all for hate speech. That's gonna be the clip that lives forever.
Please don't say that.
No, but I hear what you're saying, and I think the difference is, again, you needed talent back in the day to survive. Now, it's just, what's the next? How can I out crazy my last crazy?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. And that's the thing. People are taking the going viral thing, and they're taking it to extremes. Like, I have to do something completely outrageous or say something outrageous, or I'm not going to go viral. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's not worth it, man. Saying something batshit just to go viral. There is such a thing as bad publicity. I'm sorry.
We view it as not worth it, but a lot of other people don't. Do you know how many times I'm going to make this about us? Do you know how many times I read comments? I read comments that people go, you know what? You're so much better than blah, blah, blah. And they always name a podcast or a social media person or a comedian that is big in the news or has recently rose to fame and got huge numbers, or rose to the first time it happened to me, I forget the guy's name, but I started watching the guy because he would make these prank videos, and then he turned into a podcaster because you can't make prank videos for the rest of your life. He was a YouTube guy. I forget his name, but he like twitches a lot when he talks. And somebody said to me, like, they were like, you and Frank and you guys are so much better than this guy. And I'm like, I appreciate the compliment, A, but B, it's like, I know. Because we were trained and we worked at this as a craft. Like, there are so many podcasts that are so much bigger than ours, but I would put our work up against theirs any day of the week because we know how to maintain an audience and interact and do all the things that you're supposed to do because we come from the old school. You can't fake this. I even heard somebody was like, oh, since Haktua left, I'm so glad I found you guys. I'm like, that's a weird comparison, but thanks. Because any day of the week, I would put ourselves up against Haktua, not audience size wise, not wallet size wise, but
I've never, I don't know, tuned in. I've seen a random clip here or there.
Yeah, who would have? I actually banned the person. I blocked them because I'm like, I don't even want you on our listening to us. If you went from
someone that liked our show, what the fuck?
You're goddamn right, because I'm a no bullshit, I take no shit kind of a guy.
So a jerk.
If you're gonna like Haktua and then say you like us, that's an insult. You can fucking leave. You banned.
Oh, random train whistle. This is what we were trained to do, folks. This is cutting edge stuff that goes back to the old school. So random train whistle every now and then.
Yeah, I think we have to end on Paul's comment, which is Megan is the AOA boogeyman. Is that the shit. Truer words?
Damn it! See, we get thrown right back in our face.
Yeah, you know whose fault this all is? Meghan Markle's. I'll tell you what. It all ties back to her. Anything else you want to throw in there, Frankie? I think we've reached the pinnacle.
I'm all emptied out here. I got nothing left.
Me too. Friday show, hopefully it'll be a lot more fun if nothing horrific happens in the world.
Let's fingers crossed, folks.
Kind of feels like a 50-50 chance of that at every moment, doesn't it? We got to about 6:30 today, and I was like, oh, we're going to be able to do the show I was planning on doing this morning. And then it was like, no, you're not. Here's
every day I go to social media, I go, what is it going to say today? Sometimes it's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Half the time, it's like, geez, what the fuck, man?
One thing I will tease for Friday's show, Frankie C, because I saw this earlier in the week and I said, nope, this is a Friday topic. Scientists might have figured out a way to reverse aging with AI. How's that for a tease? Tune into Friday's show. You know, we're live on Facebook and YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're on video, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, all the podcast places, all the normal spots. Tune in Friday. We're going to talk about, did scientists discover a way to have AI reverse aging?
I can't even imagine how that would. They can't even. AI can barely get, like when you Google something with AI, it can barely understand. It gives you a different answer every time you Google the same.
Yeah.
So forgive me if I take that with a grain of salt.
That was an old school news teaser. Is something in your medicine cabinet about to kill you?
Tune in later tonight. It's like, oh, shit.
What's in the medicine cabinet? Get a tape. We got to tape it. We're going to be out. This is gonna be
all of it. Throw it all in. Come on.
I was watching an old Seinfeld bit where he's like, your medicine cabinet is like a medicine museum. It's like Brill cream from 30 years ago, shit like that. It was really funny.
You don't use anymore or whatever.
No, you don't use any of it. So tune in on Friday for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Plus whatever else happens in the world, that's what we'll have for you.
I guess. Also,
can I tell you something?
What?
You were really good this episode.
Thank you.
You were really good.
It was. So, no, you were good too. You were good.
I thought you were going to say somebody had to be. Fucking.
I was going to carry this fucking go to the end. So pick up Oval, folks, written by Aaron C. It's a wonderful book. Robin put the link in the description, the Amazon link. Anthony's holding up a copy right there. Pick it up today. It's a great book. Oval, written by Aaron. Available on Amazon. You can buy a hard copy like Anthony has, or you can download as well. Click the link to get your copy today.
Get this before the current administration bans it, which is entirely possible.
That's free speech right there. Anthony's holding up.
This is freedom right here. Buy your freedom, people. Get it while you can.
I go nuts now.
Are we going to see the great Aaron C on Friday for a game time?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Yet another reason to come back. Until then, enjoy your Thirsty Thursday, everybody. We'll see you.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.